so many times during this genocide, Israel's done something where you couldn't have imagined that even an entity as evil as Israel could have done it, but they do. They constantly just defy the imagination. So let's start there. It's because that's what's dominating the news right now. The Biden administration is being forced to respond. This, after all, is Israel not just killing aid workers, but killing a partner of the Biden administration and their policy in Gaza. Because World Central Kitchen, as you and Wyatt Reed wrote about recently at the Grayzone, World Central Kitchen has been actually helping the Biden administration in their goal of undermining UNRWA and replacing UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees.
We're definitely going to get into that. I think that is the aspect that few other media organizations will touch. Probably only only those outlets that covered the Hannibal Directive back in October will tell you about the real role of Jose Andres in World Central Kitchen in Gaza. And it was an insidious one that we covered last week. This was the scene of a car carrying five World Central Kitchen aid workers and a Palestinian driver. And you can clearly see they were hit with a drone strike. The missile went right through the World Central Kitchen logo on top of the car. And the scenario in which they were killed is shocking. According to Israeli media, let's read a machine translation of a Haaretz article, or at least summarize it, explaining how these aid workers were killed in a deconflicted zone in the central Gaza city of Deir al-Balah, where they were seeking to set up field kitchens. And keep in mind, as Wyatt Reed and I reported, something that was buried in or left out of other media reports about WCK coming to Gaza, they were coordinating directly with the Israeli military and Kogat, which is the Israeli military bureaucratic branch in charge of maintaining the siege of Gaza. So this is machine translation of Haaretz, basically saying the attack in which seven aid workers were killed in the vehicle convoy, during which a drone fired 3 missiles, one after the other. The description of the events preceding the attack indicates that a convoy and 3 cars from the World Central Kitchen left last night to accompany an aid truck to the organization's food warehouse in the Deir al-Balah area of central Gaza Strip. The vehicles were clearly marked as belonging to the organization on the roof or on the sides. However, according to the sources briefed on the details of the incident, the unit responsible for securing the axis, the Israeli army unit responsible for securing the axis where the convoy was traveling, identified an armed man on the truck and suspected that he was a terrorist, a member of Hamas. Anyone in Hamas can be killed. Until the preliminary operations for the attack, blah, blah, blah. The truck arrived at the warehouse along with the other 3 vehicles, including 7 volunteers, 2 Palestinians, who are dual US and Canadian citizens. And then the rest were Australian, British, Polish. A few minutes later, the 3 cars at World Central Kitchen left the warehouse without the truck on which the gunman was allegedly identified. So without that, and I'll go into that in a second, the person did not leave the premises of the warehouse. So this is a security source inside the Israeli military saying that as these 3 cars left the warehouse, there was no armed man with them. While the convoy was traveling on the approved route, approved by the military, the location of the unit responsible for securing the route ordered the drone operators to attack one of the vehicles with a missile. I mean, this is already absolutely crazy. Some of the passengers were seen getting out of the car after the missile hit, so they survived the first drone strike and moved to another car. They continued the journey, trying to escape from an Israeli drone on the approved Israeli route, and even informed those responsible for them, the HML, the military unit responsible for their protection, that they'd been attacked. Seconds later, a second missile hit their vehicle. Then the third car in the convoy approached them, and the passengers had survived the second attack. They transferred into the third vehicle, wounded people, and tried to get them out of danger. But then a third missile was fired at the third car, and all 7 of the volunteers were killed in that final attack. So this is just shocking. And this is, of course, what's been happening to Palestinians, to Palestinian aid workers, to regular Palestinian people fleeing all throughout this genocide. But this is this is unique in that their route was approved by the Israeli military. They were under the personal protection of an Israeli military unit. They're coordinating with the Israeli military. And as Aaron said, they're there on a special mission to supplant UNRWA, the United Nations, which Israel is seeking to kick out. So it really doesn't get any more psychotic than this. And the details of the killings are just, absolutely disgusting. I really would love for the drone footage to come out. It would look a lot, I think, like the collateral murder video we saw of the U.S. military in Iraq released by Julian Assange and WikiLeaks.
So just to underscore this, they hit not 1, not 2, but 3 different vehicles from World Central Kitchen. They killed 7 people, including an American. We'll play in a second the Biden administration's response, which of course is, they're basically already saying that Israel didn't do this deliberately, that this was just a tragic mistake. They're repeating Netanyahu's talking point. And what has been the result? Well, World Central Kitchen said they're going to shut down their operations. They're going to suspend their aid deliveries in Gaza, which is understandable, which means I think that Israel has achieved its goal, because why else would they kill these aid workers, attack 3 of their vehicles? They don't want any food going to Gaza, even though World Central Kitchen is serving another Israeli-U.S. goal of undermining UNRWA. Even a higher priority for Israel is to starve the people of Gaza. And so therefore you can't tolerate anybody delivering food, even meager amounts, to the people of Gaza. And therefore these aid workers had to be made an example of. They were martyred by Israel to send the message that Israel is not going to let the people of Gaza live. And so therefore these people had to die.
It's unclear to me, was there some kind of rift within the Israeli military? I'd seen actually Jose Andres, the founder of World Central Kitchen, complain that while he was finding cooperation within Kogat, the bureaucratic siege masters of Gaza, the Israeli military itself was not very compliant. And what you have are like practically teenagers, kids in their late teens, early 20s, in an air-conditioned office somewhere, maybe in southern Israel at some base, drone jockeys, just hitting anything that moves. The command structure in the Israeli military is clearly broken down. You have one of the top commanders of the Israeli military, Barak Hiram, getting promoted or considered for a promotion as military secretary to Netanyahu after he was reprimanded for blowing up Isra University. Remember that giant detonation of a private university with no connection to Hamas in Gaza? He did that, and he's been confirmed as the author of the killing of 12 Jewish Israeli citizens in Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th. So, this is just a degenerate terror militia running rampant with the most high-tech weapons ever seen in human history. And now they killed white people. We know the Biden administration doesn't care when they kill the natives, 32,000, but now they've killed a Polish citizen, an Australian, people who dedicated their lives to delivering aid. And this is a great point by Ali Abunimah that I think we need to put front and center here before we show anything else. Just something that we're reiterating, which is that here you have Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari from the Israeli. He's the Israeli top propagandist. And he spoke with Jose Andres to apologize to him and expressed the deepest condolences, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, the work of World Central Kitchen is critical. Okay, and Ali asks, Ali, founder of Electronic Intifada, why does the Zionist genocide regime call the work of World Central Kitchen, quote, critical after announcing it will destroy UNRWA, the only agency truly capable of providing for the needs of everyone in Gaza at required scale? Think. It's because they were supposed to supplant UNRWA. Jose Andres is a State Department culinary ambassador. He's pals with Tony Blinken. He was sitting right in front of me and Anya Parampil when we went to Samantha Power's big rollout of the Dia app for Ukraine. He's a State Department asset. And so that's why they were letting them in. And then they still killed them. They're biting the hand that feeds Israel, is biting the hand that feeds it.